Alright, morning guys. So, Wednesday morning now. So, we went to the chiropractor's Monday, took the rest of the day off work, and then I went again. So I had to go into the city Monday, because the local ones aren't open here. But it's the same people, so, and then they had their clinic out here was open on Tuesday, so I went there again yesterday. It was about 10:30, whatever it is. Got another adjustment, and I'm pretty good now. I'm not sore or anything. I might have to go for another adjustment just to make sure we're locked in a couple of days' time. We'll just see how that flows. But yeah, hopefully I'm alright now. So we'll get in here and we'll get some shit cut up. Righty. So I'm trying to get this plate off, if I can. This whole thing. A couple of screws up underneath and whatever. I'm just going to try and see if I can get that off. Right, we're getting there. Got a few screws out. A few of these little fellas out. A couple to go. Just trying to soak them down with some of this stuff. As Derek would call it, probably I don't know, lube juice or soaker juice 9000 or something. As you can tell, we watched a wee bit of old Derek from Vice Grip. I've been just taking it easy the last couple of days. I actually watched a majority of the series on what do you call it? That Chevelle that he picked up, I don't know, whatever it was, about 4 years ago it must be, thereabouts. That Independence, whatever it was all painted up like the American flag. So yeah, I watched quite a few of the videos from over the last couple of years on it, just in his playlist. That man's a hard thing. He's a hard thing, alright. Right, so we got every bolt out, or bolt or nut or screw or whatever, except for that one. I just had to try and get in there with a screwdriver because this here was pushed in, and try and pull this out so I can try and get that top off this. I think I've got everything else loose now. That this should come once we get that off. There was only the two screws down here. I thought there was actually more underneath there, but there's not. That's all attached. So I got everything else loose. That one there was a wee bit of a fight because it's pushed in a bit too, but managed to get it eventually. Just held a spanner behind just to try and get enough pressure on it, just to get enough off the top of it so I could push that back through. It's sort of a bit pushed in like this one. For what reason I don't know, but you know what I mean. So we'll see if we can get that one ground off now, hopefully, and get that out of the road, and we should better drop that panel out, and at least we can look and see what's going on down here, and we'll work out what the next best course of action is, because I'm pretty sure it's all rotted out behind this piece, and behind here. I think that's where all that rot is. That runs in behind here and behind this plate. I think there's another plate there. Where these, obviously the rope anchors are tied up to a a dock or a boat or whatever, or a ship or whatever, back in the day. Stuff that wasn't coming out of the water, it could be tied up. Or stuff could be tied to it, I guess, you know, if you're trying to tie something down. That's probably tie point for tying stuff onto it as well, if you needed to. So yeah, we'll see if we can get that off, and we'll get into there now, and yeah, we'll just keep digging. Right, so this is what I could see. So this is down below that patch there, but as you can see up in here, she's, oh yeah, good. And obviously we've got the similar issue going this way, like. But if you look in here, turn the little light on. Yeah. So it's an ugly piece there too. But I don't know about further down, like it's a bit hard to tell. It's too sort of far away to look at another foot and you can't really see. You can, but you can't, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, we'll have to get the owner in and have a look, and because that's the outside of that rib there. And obviously this is all, it's had all this rope stuff poked in there for, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not a boat builder, so I don't know if this is like normal or what. I don't really know or quite understand, but yeah, we'll find out whether that's meant to be in there. But obviously, yeah, it's in there, and for whatever reason, like, that's dry, but you know, I can imagine if that got soaking full of water, it's going to hold the water in there, and it's just, we're going to rot it out. So yeah, we need to find out what he wants to do, because it's hidden behind where, yeah, it's hidden behind that other pipe that's down here. It's all behind that piece. Yeah, so we need to work out what we're doing here. I'll show him and see what he wants to do. Like, I was just trying to see if I could poke the light up in there a bit better, so we can see, you know. Yeah, too many shadows. Almost need a an engine inspection camera or something to poke up in there and have a bit of a nosy, but well, not easy to get in there and see, and that would be just an absolute munga roll to get off, I would imagine. Right, so first section out, so now we can measure up our plate thickness. We've got this for dimensions, so I'm just going to climb underneath again. I'm not going to cut any more out, just right at the moment. Maybe, look, you know, in the next day or two. What I want to do is get some dimensions from where those under rib pieces, how much further they go up that wheel tub piece, and what they do here at the back. I think they just terminate at the back. See if I can get a distance for that, and that'll also give me a rough idea how much plate we need to fill the big window of opportunity down here for the water to get in. Down here, where the new step down function is in the floor. so you can step down another 1.5 feet, 2 feet. So yeah, we need to get a rough idea what that dimension is, and we'll have to double check. But what we'll end up doing once we get this all cleaned off underneath, over the next whatever couple of days or week or whatever, depending on what else we end up doing, lots of in here stuff. Then we can, as long as we've got a rough width of that, and we'll make it obviously a little bit wider, we can get it shaped, set it up underneath, and I'll pretty much do a button cut all the way through, and then we can work out where it needs to be, where the ribs are. We can drop that back down, trim the little pieces off that we can't cut from above, and get that all trimmed and neat and fit. Put that in. Obviously put a couple of tick screws somewhere to help hold it up, or something to help hold it up. Get that started, and then we can obviously, depending on what we're going to do to make these ribs fit, I don't know whether these guys will be able to roll them or what to make them curved like that, but if maybe I give them that front section once I get that out, they may be able to, or I'm just going to have to, I just have to make it longer, and I can just ply slice and bend it up or whatever. Not sure. We'll work that out at the time. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, basically. Alrighty. So, got a couple pieces out here, mainly for that reference. I got that piece out for the curve, just to see if they can make it. So it goes up past here a bit more. From here to around where it stops is about 2 foot-ish, about 600 mils. 2 foot's a little bit over that, but so it's 2.4 meters from there where those ribs start all the way back to the back edge of where that piece comes down. So yeah, that's how long those ribs need to be. Obviously I'll take, because they only go up there with it further, we'll may as well just cut them off and clean them up and whatever, and then they can start from there. I'll have to widen this out a little bit because I haven't quite cut wide enough on these ribs. I cut through the edge of this one. Not that it matters at the moment, like I can always cut a wee bit more out. And I did a little bit the same here, so when we make this piece, we'll trim this out a bit wide to get rid of the shit that's there. And we might come out an extra, I don't know, probably won't have to come out too much further on this side, you know, another 1/4 inch sort of type thing. And when we get a panel made to fit in there, obviously we'll make it straight and square, and we'll probably just trim a lot of this up so it's reasonably decently square and it's a reasonably nice patch through there. It'll be a wee bit awkward, but we'll try and get it as straight as we can. We might better go underneath and scribe a mark or something like that and work out exactly where we need to maybe just tidy this up a little bit, and then we'll try and get them as neat as possible. Alrighty. Oh, there's crap on the floor. That's come out of taking these 2 sections out, and then I've just cleared the bottom off this best I could, and just contemplating taking another section out of here, but yeah, we'll just see. Just trying to decide whether I want to take that out or just leave it in the meantime until I get these bits made, if you know what I mean. Like it's taken a wee bit to get out, probably about, I don't know, hour and a half mucking around. I mightn't mean that long, because I cut a wee bit of the shit away at the top and then come underneath here and cut a bit more. Probably do it quicker next one. But yeah, she's not too freaking, this piece here isn't too good, so I'm gonna have to do a repair into this as well. So yeah, it's just one of those things that just keeps giving. Yeah, you might be able to see up in there still. Lots of crap up in there. I'll show a light up in there. That line in the phone. Yeah, you can see that crap up in there still. It's just full. It's kind of unfortunate because you know it's going to be in every fucking piece, but yeah, without drilling frickin' holes in it everywhere and washing it all out, I can see why it's meant to have these like holes in it every, I don't know, whatever it is, 4 or 5 feet down the hole. That's kind of what it's meant to have. Whether it's meant to, they're meant to be like that on the bottom or not, I don't know either, because they would kind of wash themselves out. And it looks like they've been replaced at some point. When I don't know. But anyway, we'll keep working away. And hopefully in a few days' time we'll get some of these pieces, and we're going to start on this section anyway, getting that back solid and whatever. I'd like it a little bit higher to work on, but it's not too bad. It's actually not too bad. Anyway, I'll carry on. Right, morning guys. So welcome back to another day. I know the top stays the same, but I can't do much about that. Now the green one I had, it's got too many freaking holes in it now. So I'm down to one for a while. Anyway, I ordered late yesterday. So I went and ordered all that other metal, got that sorted, and then I thought, bugger it, I might as well go get them to make, just make me up some angle iron, I guess, but only out of sheet metal. It's all 2mm, the same as what everything else has been made out of for all these pieces. Because they're all different, they're all a bit rotten and rusty and whatever. So I'm going to spend the next, I don't know, day or whatever getting these off. I think, yeah, I'm not sure. I think I did a little clip when I was underneath. So I picked one part of the under of the rib off, and they're a bit, I wouldn't say, some of them are probably going to be okay. I know that one there's got a bit of a hole in it. So we're going to have to do some repairs on these as well. I haven't taken any of the front pieces off yet, just in case I need some measurements. They're going to try and see if they can do those bottom pieces with the bend in it. They said they've got the gear there to do it, they just don't know whether they can get that right curve, if you know what I mean. So they're gonna have a wee play with the piece and just see if they can get it to curve, and then if they work out they can do it, then they're going to get some measurements to see whether to get it close to the right place. So you're going to go from there, and so at some point I will get back underneath here, and I'll cut some more with the rest of these away. But I think I'll start here and just start picking all this away. That's quite interesting. Yesterday I think I did a little clip on this, but I was hunting through videos and I found a video of one of these here in New Zealand. I know there's 3, but I'm pretty sure this is the only one that's had military use. And I was watching the clip because I was trying to see if I could find some decent photos or video footage of what was going on here for this piece, because I want to better restore this back to original and weld bits on instead of being bolted on. So I want to make it as close as original as possible looking, if you know what I mean, without all these extra pieces on. And I've come across enough photos of the pieces that were in here with the wood that had the extra pieces of steel in there. Those pieces of steel aren't meant to be there. So when we get the new wood made, we can get rid of those pieces. They're not meant to be there, which is cool. But yeah, I've struggled to get the piece to get a look at the back pieces in here and obviously over there where it's been chopped off. Because you can see how far down those panels go, that leg goes. So I don't know whether it's meant to be right to the bottom of that or not. So that's when I've got to try and get an eyeball on some decent, if we can find some decent footage or photos of that area, because unfortunately a lot of them seem to have stuff in behind and it's hard to tell. So yeah, I've just got to try and suss it out. But I was looking at this video from one here in New Zealand, and it was in the North Island, but it was, I don't know, 2000 and it was about 8 years ago, so it's about 2015-ish, thereabouts. And it was this old guy that's had this one for a long time, and it come from Australia, and it was after the war. It had been servicing farms and whatever, or a farm, dragging stock and obviously supplies and whatever backwards and forwards across this farm for a piece of land or something like that. I'm not 100% sure on the exact story. So I was like, I think this might be that one. I haven't talked to the owner since, but yeah, because I'm not sure how long he's had it, but I know it was carried down here a wee while ago, but not that long ago, because a mate of mine brought it down on the back of a truck. Because I showed him some photos of what I was working on, and he goes, yeah, I carted that down here. I was like, okay. I'm not sure from whether he went all the way up to North Island and brought it down or what, but he brought it to here, which is quite interesting. So yeah, I'm just trying to find out what the deal is, if you know what I mean. So I think it's that vehicle, and the thing that gave it away to me, it had those patches in the same places, so it's got to be it. And I know the other ones were well, as far as I know, were never military used. They might have been made after the war, or ones that weren't used in the war, if you know what I mean. I don't know how much action this seen, but it was used during the war because it was made in 43, whereas I know they still made them after that. Well, there was obviously some made right near the end of the war, and they probably never got used for military, so they were just sold off if they didn't end up getting used, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so we'll carry on, but yeah, we need to get all these pieces off, and then we will have to, actually I might leave that very front piece on, so I can even maybe do a string line. Hold on, turn the camera. I might leave that front piece on so I can do a string line or something down through there, so I can keep my level. So yeah, we'll get these pieces and we'll just have to put them along here, because they're missing from that edge. And I'm going to replace everything except for probably that back stuff. It looks like it's been done, some of it. So we'll see. I might replace that stuff behind that board too, I don't know, but I just can see that's been done already. So yeah, we'll go along and we'll cut all that old stuff off, and yeah, hopefully today or tomorrow or whatever they'll get those pieces bent up. It's just going to be 40 mils deep by 20, so it's about 3/4 of an inch by what would that be, about an inch and a half ish, somewhere around about there. I'm not 100% sure. I had a quick measure on some of these wide bits, and this is about 40 mils deep. I haven't got a tape measure here handy, or a ruler I used to do. So yeah, this is, so it's about 40 mils deep, or yeah, about an inch and a half or slightly over. And then I took a rough measurement of the piece down here, and it's about 3/4 of an inch, or 20 mils, give or take, if you know what I mean. Right. So I just spent probably, I don't know, almost 2 hours at home during lunch just hunting and going through more videos, stuff that I haven't been through, trying to see if I could find some photos or video footage or something. And the worst thing is, because they're complete, it's very awkward to see where this floor section and bits and pieces amalgamates with these pieces that I'm trying to wrap my head around to repair with my fingers the bottom sections of these pieces to make it back to how it would have been when it was new. So I think what I'm going to do, just get a couple of bolts and whatever. I'm going to put that piece of the piece of timber that goes in behind the seats that bolts those two pieces, those two upright angle iron pieces there. I'm going to put a couple of bolts through these so they can just sit there again, and then I'm going to put a couple of bits of metal back in there, and I think maybe there's that vertical bracket, just sit that back on there with a couple of bolts and just nut it out in my head and have a good look and try and work out what that should have been like, because I just can't figure it out from anything else that I can find on the internet. Right, I'm just about kind of there, if you know what I mean. Just loosely piecing this together, trying to work it out here. What's going on and what I need to do to make it look more factory than it was in my repair. And just to work out what materials I need to do it. See if we can find a couple of bolts just to sling on there to hold that thing up for myself. Righty. So I'm hoping to go down the road shortly, see if they've got maybe these bits made up with the new bits for there, and possibly see what they've maybe got done for here. Right, so I've got some stuff back here, not quite what I wanted, but I've got plenty to do with these anyway. So I've got all these pieces back, but unfortunately I haven't really got anywhere here to sit and try and lay all this stuff out comfortably, if you know what I mean, to go through and mark all this stuff out and drill holes and open up holes and whatever else. So I'm half by contemplating going back down to my workshop. I could do it here, but again, they don't really have anywhere for me to sit and lay anything out. They don't have any like big workbenches or anything, because I'm always working on equipment per se, if you know what I mean. They do, but they don't. Like and they've got their stuff all over it. So I'm just half by contemplating. I was going to do it in here, and also I need to try and sort something out to replicate these to weld back on here. I just wonder if I go down to the workshop and lay all the stuff out, draw all the holes out in these, and also these aren't dead straight, so I can probably work out from these and piece them together and work out where this bend is, and I can give them a wee tweak in the shrinker stretcher wherever it needs to be in here somewhere, you know, give them a wee stretch and just give them a wee kink, which I can't really do here, if you know what I mean, because it's got a little bit of a bend in it. It's obviously, but yeah, I'm just contemplating. Have I got that old one of that here? I think I do. Oh yeah, like I've got that's probably actually not that bad. I've only got a couple of holes to put in that. I'm not sure about anything else. So that's really, that could probably, wow, could probably almost stay here. It's not super critical. I could take it down there, I suppose, and just cut the angle on it and whatever, and at least map that hole out. I won't worry about welding it on just yet. We'll do that just before we put it on. I did manage to grab, fortunately they had some weld through there as well, so I can, when I start getting that stuff cleaned up and whatever, I can spray a bit of that on. I'd actually like to find somebody that had the copper stuff that I can get it through easily. I need to work on that. I'd probably find actually my paint supplier probably has it, but when I'm buying it through like somebody else's account, like I'd like to frickin' be able to do that some other way, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm just contemplating shooting down there and spending an hour or two down there and maybe sorting these pieces out. Oh, interesting. So one of the wheels is off the scooty. Must be trying to get some measurements for the new wheels to be made that we've been waiting for months. I have to talk to the owner, see what the go is. Right, so I think the first thing I might do is put those pieces I cut in half or that were bolted in half. I might just tack weld them together so that where they should be, and that'll just give me a bit more idea where positions are for these pieces, and then also give me the point for where they're kinked, and I'll straighten out any bits and pieces that I've bent on them, which isn't a lot. So yeah, I think that'll be the first thing I do. So I'll do that, and then we'll come back to you. Right, so that's holes drilled in here. That's not quite at the right size. Unfortunately, somebody has borrowed my hole saws. I've got this part here, but I don't have the rest of the kit, which normally sits up here, I think. I'll have to have another good scout round for it. I don't think I've got it anywhere else. But yeah, I would like, that's about 38 mil, whatever that works out into inches. So I've just put the step drill through there, but it's not quite big enough for what that is. It probably won't matter a heap, but it would have been nice to just been close to that right size, if you know what I mean. Like an extra little bit wouldn't have hurt. And then I'll use the step drills for these ones here, but I want to lay that flat again. And then I think once I get all my holes in along the edges and whatever, then I'll probably throw that in the stretcher, and we'll just stretch that until we get that bend. And then that'll be done, and then I'll have to do the other one. I was just hoping it was going to be a wee bit warmer, but frickin' freezes holding on. I thought the sun might have frickin' warmed it up. I don't see those frickin' hole saws anywhere. It's frustrating me. Yeah, and I just wonder if the owner of the Studebaker, oh, Biggie, owner of Studebaker's son has maybe borrowed the hole saws, which is, I don't mind, but frickin' bring something back. Because you never know when you want it. I'm pretty sure I haven't got anywhere else. I'm pretty sure it was over there by the over there by the battery chargers there. So I'm just going to drill a few holes down here. I'll stretch that. And I think I do it about 4 times. So just a stretch there, flip it over to the stretch there, and keep, just did one each side until I got the right sort of angle. Used that angle finder just to get a rough idea when I was over there, so I wasn't running backwards and forwards. It's probably very slightly over, but I don't think it'll matter much. So yeah, that's that one basically done. The only other thing I've got to try and work out is these things, and I need to figure out what thread they are. Well, it probably doesn't really matter, but I think it had, let's go back through the videos, I think it had those screws in here. Screws in here, or is there bolts in there? I can't remember. Well, these are fun little buggers to make. I've just been not quietly making them away. I've only made 5 so far over the last, I don't know, while anyway. So I've just got 6 standing up. So I got this here. And where's my bolt gone? Here. So I've got to cut up some more strips now, but basically I just set that on there, put my piece over top, wind that in, screw it up tight, and it's just got like a little tab out there and out there, and I just bang bang, just knock them down until it's square, and then undo it again, and then put another one on. So yeah, it's just I just cut a strip that was about the right width, and then just chopped it up into pieces, and then I just had to trim it out with a pair of just whatever you want to call it, tin snips, whatever. Like one of those little frickin' right angle. I know on some of the shears they have, you can get a shear that's got like a little right angle on it. Would be frickin' really handy for some of that sort of stuff, but that works. It's just slow. I've got a few to make, so there's 3 left on there, but I don't know whether there was more on here or not. I'm assuming, because there's quite a few on that piece. I don't know, there's 7 or 8, I think, somewhere around about there. There's one there. I reckon there was one there. I think 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there's. I don't know if there was down here or not, but yeah. So there's a few on there. So there's probably meant to be more on here, but it's had that piece remade at some point. So possibly, the other holes were meant to have them in too. But I'm not 100% sure on that. But so I'm just making a few up, and we'll just keep making. I just tapped a hole and a bit of angle on, and just screw it all down and hammer it over. It's kind of how it's easy enough to make, and I'll might tidy them up a little bit better when obviously when I get something in a bit more permanent behind them. I'm hoping I might be able to get a slightly thicker nut, square nut, if I can get them. I think I can get them. We'll have to do a hunt. Hopefully I can. Otherwise, I'll try and get the ones out of what's here if I can, and clean the threads up. I'm not 100% sure what I'll do yet. I just don't know if I get these off either without destroying them, if you know what I mean. Again, you probably would, but it's getting pretty fussy to try and get them. It'd be easier to just break these out and get the nuts out than anything else. If worst comes to worst, then we'll just get the bolts to suit the thread, if you know what I mean. If I can't get them, then we'll just find some extra stuff to do the job, you know, to replicate. I'd rather replicate it as close as I can and make it look factory, close to factory if I can, than not, if you know what I mean. Anyway, we'll carry on. Right, so I've made a few more of them. In fact, they take a while to make, so basically this is what I'll do. Make that, and then just, basically I just got a strip, cut them off like that, drilled a few holes in, cut them like that, and then I'll just quickly just mark where I want to cut up to with the tin snips, up to there, like that, and then you just, yeah, just quickly bolt it down basically, the nut underneath, that on top, and run the bolt through it, and then just hammer it down. So it looks like that. And that's pretty much how I make them. So yeah, I need a few more, but I'll do that tomorrow. I'll come back here. I haven't even done that one yet. Like remade it from that and drilled all the holes in it. I haven't even done that. I started doing these and fluffing around with them and whatever. And God, it's freaking it's just one of those little tedious jobs, I guess. Just slow, mucking around, whatever. It's got cold now, but anyway, we'll head home and yeah, I'll call past the other workshop to make sure I've turned the lights and everything off, and I think I did that before, I can't remember. No, I didn't, because I wanted to charge the light. Yeah, and see if maybe the owner is there, and just, yeah, and then we'll carry on tomorrow for another 4 hours. I'll probably whip down here and just finish this stuff off, probably, at this point, and just see how far I get if I get this finished. Before then I'll head back to the other workshop and I'll do a bit more down there. Anyway, we'll catch you later on. Morning everybody. This is another cold, crispy one. Fog. I think it'll come out sunny later on. The sun is trying to come out. It's pretty crisp. I'm just down at the other workshop. Just finished drilling some holes and some bits and pieces that I didn't get done on Saturday. I got that stuff from there. I'm just going to grab some other bits and pieces, and then I'm going to head back to a place where I got some of the bits made and see if they get anything else finished. Because I picked that up early Friday morning, and they were hoping to get some other stuff made during the day. So I'll go back and see if they've got any of that stuff done, and then I can maybe come back down here or whatever and work out what else I need to do with some bits and pieces. And I'm going to see, because I know these guys can get these Roll-Lox discs, or roll rack discs, or whatever you want to call them, depending on what brand they are. These are those Euro, Mac, whatever, 3-inch 40 grits. So I've got quite a few 80 grits and 40 grits. Just a 2-inch, but funnily enough, I don't seem to use them. I've got these here if I need them, but I'll leave these here. But I might just see if they can get me a pile of these that I can, and then I'll get through this job, because obviously the owner of the duck gets our stuff. So I better use these to do a lot of clean up bits and pieces and wherever, and getting stuff cleaned up. It'd be a bit easier than using a grinding disc or a flappy wheel or whatever for just cleaning up for where I need to weld and bits and pieces. It's less awkward. So what else was I going to do? I'm just trying to think. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do in the meantime. Shoot back down there, see if I get any other stuff made, and then whatever, and get back to it. And I really need to. I've got so much footage at home. I actually threw it all into one video this morning before I left, because I haven't done anything. I haven't sorted any footage out for weeks. And I don't know. I've done a couple of little short clips and thrown them up about some bits and pieces, but I just can't get motivated to sit down and do it. And it sucks. I just, as much as I want to do it, I just sit there and I go, I don't know. It sucks. I think I'm just, and I don't hate doing what I'm doing either. It's just I think I really need that break, but I fucking got there financially. I think I need it to just get away for a couple of weeks with me and the missus or whatever, and just really get a break. And I'm not sure what's going to happen with that 51 now either, because I've been following it on Facebook, and I don't think it's sold, but he's pulled it down off the thing. But I've actually messaged him a couple of times earlier on. I just asked him a couple of questions about it, but I just haven't had the cash to frickin' put towards it. And that's why I was hoping to get one of these other smaller jobs in here, but I haven't had any chance to try and get one of those sorted to get in here. I was hoping to throw, maybe if I got a chunk of change out of one of those to get started, I was going to take part of it to go get that. But yeah, I just haven't been able to do it. It's pain, it's pissing me off. So I'm hoping it's still there and it's still available, but he's just pulled it off because it hasn't sold or hasn't done anything with it. I just hope it doesn't get scrapped or crushed. So yeah, I might message him and just say, look, I'm just trying to I just haven't had a chance to get the funds together yet, but if it's still there, I'll come and get it. You know, I'll just let you know in a few weeks' time. Hopefully I've got the cash. Right. So I need to just think that there is. See, just looking at that. Yeah, that's the outside here, because you can see it's kicked up. So this is the outside of the hull on the boat, I guess you'd call it. So we know that one's 180 and that one's 190 in front. Well, they would be even, but it's just how I've cut it on the angle. We can even it up when we cut it out and we get all these other bits up. You know, we can even the floor up or whatever. Doesn't really matter at this point. But so we've got to get these here bent to that radius. Right, so got the cuts in it. I used the thin disc for a start off, and I just couldn't get enough bend in it. It was about here, so I went back through with one of the thicker cut discs that I've got. Right, so they come in handy occasionally. So instead of using the fine ones, I'll come back behind the camera so I can see what I'm doing. So instead of using these fine ones, like everybody regularly uses, that's why I keep a couple of these handy. These are a bit over double the thickness. And it's just enough so you pull it around without having the whole heap extra cuts in it to weld up. So yeah, I'll clamp this on here. I've just got this Tech screw to the bench as far as this way as I sort of could get it reasonably well. And then I'll clamp this down here. The only things I won't weld yet is I'll leave the end to, just in case I might have to I'll take that, once I got these, what I might do is tack, give them all a reasonable tack, or weld them solid to this, I guess. And then I can take them back down to the duck and we can just confirm that these angles here, I can get them right. I've got another welder down there, so I can crank it up and might be able to just tack weld these and then just finish them off, if you know what I mean. But at least I know this is the right profile. and then when we lay because I've got the piece for the shield floor as well, which is about that wide, so we'll have to trim it, whatever. But at least I know it'll be right. And then if we've got these, I'll have to put the piece of sheet on first, but I can make sure that these fit up underneath it, and I can push it to that curve. Well, it'll be have to be a curve anyway. These pieces where it joins in, so that won't matter too much. It'll be close. Bugger it, I thought I was videoing that. Oh, we'll have to do the other one. So I've welded this up roughly. I've still got a few holes and dressed up on the inside. I've left these two end ones. I want to go test fit on the vehicle now, just before lunch, or I might do it on the way back, whatever. But I just want to make sure I don't weld these just in case we've got to flex this in or whatever, that we can double check that. If I know if we've got to pull it tight, I can pull it tight. If I know we need another cut in here and another cut in here, I can do that, and we can tack it and we can whatever. Obviously I've got to fill it, drill it, dress it a bit more, clean it up on the inside. There's a few spots where I probably just haven't quite got it hot enough, and I need to go back through and weld on the inside, just so I can dress it, clean it up. And then we'll blow a hole into weld through primer in there or something. Eventually, we'll have to cut the end down, smooth that off. But I just want to make sure that this is right. Well, it will be. This here will be right, but I just want to make sure the transition from this back underneath and then up here is right, and just make sure we don't have to put any more angle on it or whatever. Before we put it in, it's easy to have a quick lay it up underneath there. That looks alright. We can just weld that up and weld that up, or we've got to put a wee bit more angle on it. Righty, so I went and lay this underneath the, what do you want to call it, the duck. So yeah, I didn't need to, probably the last couple probably could have been a wee bit just the thin cut instead of ending up doing the big thick cut through there. So they closed up. It's kind of one of those things. It's just hard to judge what the actual angles is off here. What I may do is just let this go, let it hang down a little bit, just so this angle isn't quite as steep, so it's a wee bit more relaxed. It's the same one here. It just needs to be slightly more open. Yeah, just probably need to pull it around quite so tight, but we'll weld that up. We'll finish dressing up, we'll do, clean everything up, and then we'll cut the little taper on the end, bend that down, weld that all up, and this one will be good to go. It may have to have the odd slice in it to get it to follow the bottom of the boat, but it's pretty close to being flat. We'll just see how that pans out once we put the floor in and everything like that. I don't think it'll bend very far, but if we have to put a nick in it and slice it and weld it up to get it to fit properly, well, we will. It'll just depend. It's a bit of a pain. I just probably could have left that open. I may cut that and just straighten it out, but I think it'd just be easy to put a tack in here so it can't move, and then I'll weld it up. Right, I've got that tack welded for here at the same moment. So we've still got that slightly kicked up at that end. I'll try to pull it down with 3 clamps to try and get it to buck over and be reasonably straight. We may have to tweak it yet. We'll take this one back to the workshop, we'll have a look, and we'll assess it from there. It'll probably be tomorrow, now that I've finished this one off. That's all right, it's what it takes. So yeah, we'll whip down there, we'll see if it's looking right, make sure it's going to fit underneath there. I might have to cut some of the other excess pieces off so I can get a bit of an idea, because it's running on that kicked over piece, not just on the flat like this one. So we may have to muck around and do that before we can test it, and then I can come back and weld it up properly, and we can bevel the front edge and like that one and whatever. That's cool. So yeah, we're pretty much dead in line there, within whatever. Got a little bit of jiggle room here and there, like we're sitting up here too, so it'll come down and move back and whatever. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, I've again left this one, the 2 ends, just in case we need to, flex it, but we'll probably have to cut somewhere else too. We don't know. We'll have to just see how that fits. But I try to get it to a bit twist and come around, but we'll just have to see how it sits at the end of the day.